All long-term trends begin as short-term moves, and there is no room for hope in the market. The market goes its own way without regard to you or your position. The market does not care whether you own it or not. The only thing worse than being wrong is staying wrong. Lose your opinion, not your money. Be proud of the ability to catch mistakes early. Getting stopped out concedes a mistake. People hate to admit mistakes since pride and prestige get involved. Good traders will not hold views too firmly. It has been said that famous private investor Warren Buffett has two rules: capital preservation, and don't forget rule number one. Stops are synonymous with rule number one. You have limited resources. These resources should be maximized or at minimum preserved. If you are in a market that has moved against your position, it is time to exit and find a better opportunity. Think of a stop loss as the cost of doing business. And guys, the Japanese here, this is out of the Japanese candlestick charting book, and I think this is something really important here. And what it goes in to say is the Japanese have a saying, a hook's well lost to catch a salmon. If you are stopped out, think of it as it would be to lose a hook when you're fishing. Maybe with the next hook, you will catch your prize. So what they're saying here is stop losses, they're so valuable because you're not going to explode your whole account. We look at moves like this. You could wake up one morning, guys, you could be showering up here and Bitcoin was at $8,000. And before you know it, you're looking at it and it's down around $4,000. We've lost over, half of what the price was in the matter of a couple days or, a few days. And you can't have that happen when you're trading. So that's what they're talking about, this hook to catch the salmon. The salmon's the prize of actually that winning trade. But there's going to be times when you get stopped out, and especially in this market with the long wicks that take place. But when it does happen, you have to realize, now I'm going to look for the next trade, and you have to move on. Capital preservation is everything. And I know people, the reason why I'm talking about this today is that people have, talked to me before and said, I'm stuck in positions and this and that is down 60%. And it's a miserable feeling to have because I've been there before. And that's why I got into trading, guys, because I started to, study about candlesticks and the different things that were taking place when I could see these reversals happen. I said, why in the world would I sit through this and hope? And in this market, with it being so speculative, it's troublesome when people put, life fortunes in and say, okay, I hope this is going to work out. Because, guys, we don't know just how you've seen what's happened in the last 2 months or 3 months, whatever. People a year ago weren't talking about a pandemic that's going to be all over the world. Anything can happen. So if you put all your money in and you don't have any capital to trade or do anything with, you're stuck. And then you're at the mercy of this market, which this market is so volatile. It's the most volatile market in the world. It's like riding a wild bull. And there's going to be great times when it goes straight up. Manipulation pumps. Look at this here, guys, where we'll go up almost 40% or more, and just skyrocket. And then you'll have a 20% retracement back down and you'll lose almost all the gain. So that's why, in my opinion, we need to capitalize on these swings. And I think short-term trading and long-term trading is the best thing that you can get into for this space. That's what this space is for, not hodling, in my opinion. If that's your strategy and long-term, your dollar cost averaging, guys, then do what you want to do. I'm not telling you that, but also look into the trading side because you can really save yourself a lot of money when you see these things taking place and you start looking at the volume and the candlesticks and trend line breaks and everything. It can be so important for you, and that's why I started this channel, was to take you along with my journey of learning this stuff so that we could learn trading together. And right now I'm looking at Bitcoin here, and we have a trend line break that took place. Okay, we have lower highs that have been coming in yellow here, our yellow trend line, and now we're starting to have this reaction, and it's on less volume. So this has been our short-term downtrend now, and what we would need to do to get out of this trend here, we need to make a higher high. So we need to get over 7,188, and then a higher low, then a higher high, then a higher low, and that's how it would change. But until we get a breakout from this yellow trend line now, I'm not too interested in Bitcoin. I've been sitting back in cash patiently waiting for a good opportunity because there could be an even bigger drop that could come. Guys, I don't have a wizard's hat. I can't tell you what the whales are going to do in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, but I like to use the technicals and look at it, and I say, all right, we had a trend line break, and now we're in a downtrend here, and we have these lower highs that have been coming in, and we need to break out from up out from this trend line here. And if we could get out of that trend line and we do get a true trend line break here, then that could bring us back up to around the $8,000 range, where we essentially had one of these bear flags. And see, this is something you could look at to spot, guys. We had the pull down, then we moved sideways. Then once we broke that, we had another volume climax down. So that's really important. But right now, when we're looking at Bitcoin, and this is on the 1 hour time frame right now, we're not looking at a ton of bullish things. We should have kept these higher lows that were coming in. We should have stayed with this green trend line there. And even if we were looking at the ascending triangle we had on for a while, we essentially had a 5% failure, and then we dropped back down. So there's nothing to me that's screaming, man, I got to get in a position. I need to jump in right now. And guys, in this space, my FOMO meter, it's so much lower than it used to be, just because I've seen the fake outs. I've seen the fake out breakouts and the pump and dumps and the, people thinking they're going to get a Lamborghini. I've been in this space for over 3 years now. People thinking they're going to get a Lamborghini, and now their marriage is basically broke up, and the guy's sleeping on the couch because he lost 90% of the money, thinking that he was going to be, living in Miami driving a Lamborghini. And it just isn't what it is. And I hate to see people's heart get broken like that. That truly, it's devastating. And I just don't want to see that. So on this channel, I want to try to help people look at the market in a different way and look at things at price action. Price, you read any technical analysis book, price is the king of the chart. And then you're looking at volume, you're looking at the candlestick formations. When I'm looking at this, after we just had a fake breakout, so we pumped up, we broke out over top of about 6,900, we ended up going up to 7,200, and then we had a big dump after that. So what's telling me right now I want to jump in when I have all this overhead resistance in the trend line break? Guys, and like I said, I don't have a wizard's hat. If in the middle of the night something, goes down and all of a sudden we're up 20% tomorrow, I'm going to say congratulations to those who are in it. And then I'll wait to see if we have a low volume pullback and we basically form some type of a pennant or whatnot. Then I'll jump in and ride the next leg up with a stop loss below that. But that's the way that I like to play this market. That's how I've been doing it. And I think it's better than just hoping and wishing, because, guys, even straight out of this book here, there's no room for hope in the market. The market goes its own way, and without regard to your position, and with all the things going around the world, anything could happen. And now with the quantum computers, if you read into that a little bit more, guys, that could be somewhat of a threat in terms of how fast they could be cracking Bitcoin for the mining and everything. So there's a lot to really look into right now, and we need to be aware of this stuff. But overall, what I'm looking for, we need to get up above 7,100, and we need to have a breakout from this yellow trend line, and then maybe that'd be enough to get out of there if that does end up happening. To the downside, we need to stay up above this 200 moving average, and that's going to be at about $6,300. We'll call it $6,378. And if we go out to the 1 day time frame as well, I just want to take a quick look at this, guys. And I'm not trying to ramble, I apologize. But I just want to get this stuff out there and to try to help people to look at the technicals and spend time studying. This is exciting stuff to learn when you can really, take a look at this and pay attention to it and figure these things out. It's, kind of cracking the code sometimes and putting the odds in your favor. So we had our trend line break here. Now we've just really been moving sideways. So we're going to wait to see if this is going to be another leg to the downside here, guys, or if this is going to be the spot where we almost have a BART pattern and come up and start challenging $7,500. And that can happen as well, like we talked about. But what we don't want is something like this, how we had a drop down and then we have these real tight candles, and we have another massive drop down. Right here we had a trend line break. We've been moving sideways, and that's where we want to protect ourselves right now. We don't want another big drop down below there. So even if you were in a position here, I'd keep a tight stop loss. I'd keep it at about 6,478, somewhere around there. If you were attempting to go long, I'd be very careful on that. But guys, right now we're below our 200 moving average. We are below our 50 on the 1 day time frame here. And that's also correlating, pushing down with this yellow downtrend line that we've been drawing and looking at on the 1 hour time frame, I believe it was. So, guys, I'm going to hop off here. My internet's been moving a lot slower recently. I think everyone around here, I got about the fastest internet you can get, but everyone being at home and whatnot has just been messing with us here. We've been trying to reboot it and do everything. Here's this. Let me see here, guys. Yeah, so this yellow downtrend line right there. So we'll see if we even have a reaction back up into this area right here before the next leg down, if that's going to happen. So even here on the 1 hour time frame, what I would do is put a trend line right off here as well. So we could probably do a trend line right up there. We'd have 2 touches. Wouldn't be the most powerful trend line because you only have the 2 touches, but that also could see once you have a trend line break out of that too, if we're going to have another leg to the downside. So just protect yourself, guys. that's what I want to do here. If you get some from these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave me just a little comment down below. I tried my best to get back to it. That really helps out with the channel and the algorithm and everything. So let me know what you're thinking. Are you going long right now? Are you hodling? Are you shorting Bitcoin? What are you doing? Right now, I've been out of the market patiently waiting for a great opportunity. So let me know, guys. I appreciate y'all being here with me. God bless.